Number 7. Number 7 reason why you're probably not getting more business from your website is you probably don't have a blog, or if you have a blog, you don't have a content plan. And I can't tell you how many sites, and again, not just your business, any industry, small business owners, the few that launched a blog because somebody strong-armed like me into it, they're, I go out there and like the last post was written like last year. I'm like, okay, that's, yeah, great, too bad. So, but let me give you some reasons why you should have a blog. Number 1, a blog is the best way to increase the size of your digital footprint. Not only is it fast and easy, but because of the way you do your content plan and title your blogs, it's relevant and useful to the people you're trying to appeal to. Again, people looking for kitchen plans and kitchen designs or bathroom designs, or any whole house designs. Maybe you're designing new construction homes if you're a designer. Yeah, right? It's easy to write a blog on 6 things everybody should know before redesigning their home plans, or 5 things you should know before contacting an architect is an article I would write if I was a designer and wanted to get people to hire me for their designs. It improves your search engine optimization. It improves it in 2 ways. One is your footprint gets bigger, and the bigger your footprint, the more people visit your site. And these are little things that Google factors into who's going to show up number 1 when somebody types in Denver, Colorado remodeling contractor. It expands your reach, because not only do blogs make your footprint bigger and give you more opportunities to be found by people in search, but I'm going to show you how through social sharing, it blows up your reach, and it didn't cost you any money to do that. It just cost you some time to write the article. And believe it or not, you can find people that can write decent stuff very inexpensively, and there's a number of different websites on the net where you can just go. It's kind of like Elance, where you just like buy a consultant off the internet. I found people that can write decent content for me for $10, $20 a post. Again, I typically, when I get those, I have to, it's not like ready to go, but at least they did a ton of legwork for me. So for $20, I'll gladly pay that and then spend another hour or 2 of my time to make it like really epic. But I'm just saying it's out there. You'll position yourself as a thought leader. So if you've just got a website, you've got the homepage, the About Us, our services, and our Contact Us, it doesn't really say much about you. But when you put blog posts out there, even if you have somebody writing them for you, they're your ghostwriter, but your name is on them, all of a sudden people are reading your posts, and it's like, wow, it looks like Dan really knows a lot about Chief Architect Software. They wouldn't have known that if he just read his About Us page, because of course he's going to say, I know about Chief Experts, right? Why wouldn't he? But when you write blog posts about 5 things to look for before starting your kitchen remodeling project, and you put 5 things in there that only you know because you're in the business, people are going to read that article and say, hey, this dude is really smart. Okay, I wouldn't have ever thought about that. Or 5 things to consider before ripping up your bathroom. Oh, okay. And everybody on this call, at least those of you that are on the building side of it, you're qualified to write those articles. And as you do, and your name's on them and they're on your website, people are going to associate you with a subject matter expert that they want to do business with. And keep in mind, people are reading these blog posts, long before they're ready to hit the Contact Us thing. And if they're on your competitors' websites and they're not writing this content and sharing this idea and positioning themselves as a thought leader, when it comes down to they're ready to buy, you're going to be number 1 on a list of 2, and it's going to be easier for you to get that business. You're going to generate leads, and you're going to drive traffic through search engines, and you're going to drive traffic through social media. Now I'm going to show you very specifically with Dan as an example. We dropped this post on Dan's site, I don't know, what was it, Dan, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, about then, yeah.
2 weeks ago. All right, and we struggled with Dan's site because Dan doesn't have a WordPress site. He's got something else, Cold Fusion, and it's kind of like, oh my God, what do we do with this? And Dan's been perplexed by it for years, and I've known Dan for years, and I've been perplexed by it. But finally, a couple of weeks ago, I said, Dan, I'm a content guy. If I don't start putting content on your site for you, we're never going to be able to figure this out. So 2 or 3 weeks ago, we put this on Dan's site. And so what this shows us is month-over-month improvement. So whenever I use Google Analytics, I always do the current 30-day roll compared to the previous, and that's how I see how I did. Now, previously, this post didn't exist, so it's not, there was 0. Okay. But you can see that in the last 30 days, and actually it's more like the last 2 weeks, this one blog post that we put on Dan's site has gotten 100, so this is sessions, but it's gotten 167 people came to Dan's website because of this article. So when it says landing page here, what that means is somebody came from the internet, somewhere on the internet, and landed on Dan's website on this very page, which means if this page had not existed, these 167 people would not have found Dan's site on the day that they did in the last 2 weeks. Now, of this, they averaged 1.43 pages per session. So that means the average visitor went to at least a half of another page. So half the visitors looked at 2 pages and half didn't, and looked at only 1. And then the average duration, the average time they spent on Dan's site was a minute. I got to tell you something. In the world of internet, a minute is a long time for advertisers, right? So, a minute is a long time to be able to put an ad in front of somebody on your website that says, download my white paper, subscribe to my email list, let's do business. So this is just pure traffic because of a blog post 2 weeks ago for Dan. And then here's where the traffic came from. Now, this is, to me, was fairly impressive. Mobile Facebook drove 85 of the 167 visitors. 85 of them came from Facebook on mobile. And if you haven't heard the stat yet, more people are visiting Facebook on their mobile phone and their tablet than on their desktop now than on their desktop, and it's growing. I bet you 60% of the people on Facebook or more, probably 65%, are using their mobile phones and their tablets. So, your site needs to be mobile responsive, and we'll cover that in the workshop. It's not going to be covered in this webinar. But then the second biggest source of people to this article was just Facebook. That's the desktop version. And then direct means people just clicked on a link that was outside of a social media channel or just went right to it. LinkedIn was 16 people. So that's 10% of this 160 people came from LinkedIn in the last 2 weeks since we launched this thing. Another Facebook, don't even know what LM is, to be honest with you, but it's Facebook. 5. Another 13. Here's another Facebook. 4. Here's Twitter. 3 people. So what I'm telling you is not only on the previous slide is this just all these people are dropping in, but what's really cool is they're all dropping in from social, and I'm going to show you in another slide here exactly how we did that. But if you're not convinced about blogging by now, I don't know what else I can tell you, but it does work.
Hey guys, guess what?
What?
I didn't write the article either.
Oh, that's right. Dan didn't write the article.
I do have a really cool one I'm going to release tomorrow, so guys pay attention.
Yeah, I wrote that one, I think. Didn't I?
You wrote the one that's on there now, but the one I'm doing tomorrow, I'm writing.
Yeah. So, now I said earlier that you don't have a blog.
The cool thing about seeing those stats is it gives me more incentive to want to write, because now I know if people are reading my stuff and it's making a difference. So there's some huge benefits to that. Even if it doesn't turn into money right away, at least you know what's going on. So you can measure it. That's huge.
Yeah, and these are like what I would call the key performance indicators. So these aren't leads and deals for you, but this is the beginning point, right? Remember in that earlier slide I said we got to hit these prospective clients upstream before our competitors do. And so this is an example, like Dan said, of getting people engaged, introducing people to Dan's brand, and sharing information with them that is going to be relevant and useful to them. And if the competition isn't doing this, Dan's got a leg up on these guys or these people, whoever they are. So good point. Now, I said that, reason number 7 is you don't have a blog or a content plan. So for those of you that have a blog, you might not have a content plan, and here's a content plan. And this is a document that I'm happy to share with everybody on this call. I'll find a way to just get it out through Dan on an email. And this is a document that we're going to, in the workshop, you're going to flush one of these out for your business for many months to come. Now, this is a mortgage client that I recently started working with, and what I did was I did some keyword research, and I in the tool that I use that tells me the Google searches, I discovered that literally this phrase right here, as it sits right in front of us, how to get a mortgage with bad credit. People are typing that in 1,900 times a month, exactly as you see it. Well, whenever you see that people are searching in Google with a question, that's the title of an article. I mean, just one and done. Yeah, I'll write that article, no big deal. And so what I said to him is, because this guy owns this mortgage company, and he says, he goes, I'm committed, you've convinced me, every Tuesday, I'm going to commit an hour on every Tuesday to write for my blog. And I said, good, we're done. So I'm building this out for him. So I came up with the title because of the keyword research, and then I said to him, I gave him some details here. I said, explain what options are available for people with bad credit and what they need to do to make it happen. He also works with a credit repair guy. So in the notes I said, an idea, link to a future article, how to improve your credit and qualify for a mortgage. And then Tim Mulgren is the guy that has a credit repair company. I say, hey, he may want to write that for you and put it on your blog, right? This is how you get other people to write for you, because it gives them visibility, it gives you a bigger digital footprint, it makes your site more valuable, and so on and so forth. And so I just fleshed this out for him for February. And these dates are residual from another deal I did. But this is the kind of thing that anybody that's growing their business with a website and a blog is using what I'm showing you right now. And if you're not using this, I don't care who you are, it's really hard to just turn your blog into a lead generation machine for your company. Whether you're a designer, an architect, a builder, it's all the same. And it's this simple, people. It's not like, oh, you have to go get a certificate at the college for this. No, you don't. It's this document right here. It's super simple. You'll notice I also have a column for offer or CTA, because remember, we don't want to write a blog because Ken said so. We want to write a blog because we want to get a lead. And so then my recommendation is create a guide, how to improve your credit score, and then that would be on this blog post, and that's how we catch people and put them on our email list and start dripping them. This one, I said, let's write a guide, ultimate guide to refinancing your home. And the nice thing about these is once you write them, you can use them for 100 years because they're what's called evergreen, right? There's not going to be a lot of changes in credit score improvement or ultimate guide to refinancing. So this is the calendar that many of you, if you have a blog, you're probably not using. If you start using it, you will make more money. I'll send you this through Dan, so whether you take the course or not, you'll have this and you can start plugging into stuff and just using it.